What's up guys, JSMR here, and tonight we'll just be doing a pretty simple video. I have pulled up right here the wonderful subreddit, Am I the Asshole? And basically we'll just be reading some posts I've collected from here today. So I'll be weighing in on my thoughts. We'll just kind of be judging, who's more in the right and who's in the wrong. I mean, you guys can weigh in the comments as well, and we'll just read some posts, see how this goes. So let's just hop right into it, see where this takes us. So here is all of my saved stuff. Obviously, I mean, I can leak my Reddit, I guess, but I'm not really active on it at all. I really just use it for these reading videos. So let's just go ahead and get started here. So first post here is, am I the asshole for letting my boyfriend spend time with me at my apartment despite my roommate's discomfort? Just a disclaimer, by the way, I haven't really read much of any of these, so it's more going to be like kind of an on-the-spot, like, oh, who's right about this, who's wrong about this. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited to get into this. I haven't really read any of this subreddit in like pretty much years, so I don't know, maybe the type of posts here that are posted regularly have changed. So, yeah, let's just go in. So, the poster, who is 26 female, I have been living with my roommate, 24F, who I will call R, for 3 years. We've gotten along for the most part, but having argued since I started dating my boyfriend, 24M, who I will call B. Okay, so R is going to be the roommate and B is the boyfriend. Pretty easy to remember. A year and a half ago. Okay, so they've been together for about a year and a half. And I promise I'll stop narrating. I'm just trying to get, like, in my head, like, who's who in the story. Because, this is just so Reddit coded. When we started dating, I checked out I checked with R about boundaries and what her comfort level would be for him visiting. She said she had no problem with him coming around as long as I gave her notice and he didn't stay overnight. Sounded fair? Sounds pretty fair, so I agreed. In the beginning, he only came over once every few weeks, then gradually increased to once a week over time. I always gave her a heads up beforehand. For transparency, I admit it was a bit short notice sometimes. He works long and unpredictable hours in his job, so sometimes I could only give her 1 to 2 hours notice beforehand. But we never planned anything later in the evening, just to be respectful. This worked for a while, but R became increasingly stressed about his visits. When I gave her a heads up, she started saying no and requested to be told sooner. At first she wanted to know the night before, then 24 hours, then 2 days, then 3, and so on. You see where this is going. Eventually, the only time she would approve for him to come over was about 1 to 2 hours on Thursday afternoons when she wasn't home. Okay, so this is getting a little weird. Since this happened slowly, I kept adjusting my life to try to keep her comfortable, but now it has gotten to the point that my boyfriend cannot come over at all due to our work schedules and the Thursday rule. Because of this, I am forced to go to his place instead. He lives out of town and his roommates have pets that I am allergic to, so this is not ideal. I am putting an extra 4 to 5 hours driving each week just to spend some time with him. That is a long drive, guys. I have asked her multiple times if there's anything we were doing that's making her uncomfortable, or if there's any way that we could make things better for her. She always says no, we aren't doing anything wrong, and that there's nothing we can change to make it better. The only reason she has ever given for the strict rules is that she feels uncomfortable when he's over. She says he seems nice and hasn't done or said anything wrong to make her feel this way. She just wants to unwind and relax when she is home and can't do that if he is there, even if we stay in the room the entire time. Just knowing he is there is enough to upset her. And because I know someone will ask, she claims she has no past trauma with guys causing her to feel stressed about his presence. I'm not sure if this is true, because it's the only explanation I can think of that would explain her behavior. But taking her at her word, I'm at a loss and don't know what to do. She is at the point where she refuses to talk about the subject further and refuses to consider asking a mediator to help us find a compromise. Due to her refusal to compromise, I decided to revert back to our original agreement. She is pissed and threatening to break the lease 7 months early. Am I the asshole? Okay, so there is a little bit to unpack here. So first of all, I do want a little bit of a disclaimer before I do rate a post, or really any posts at all yet. I am aware that all of these are being written and conveyed from the writer's perspective. So I just want you to keep that in mind as well. Maybe it's not like fully like 100% accurate information coming from the poster, but I do also want to give everybody in the situation the benefit of the doubt so I can kind of judge what's going on fairly here. So my perspective on this is having been a little bit in this situation before where my partner, who I'm still with, last year had some roommates that they had to talk about a lot with about me visiting, and just there's correct ways to deal with this situation and incorrect ways to go about just doing things in this situation. And honestly, overall, I would honestly side with the writer here. Obviously, our roommate in this situation, you know, multiple times kind of walked back on their agreement there, and just really didn't leave room for any kind of compromise. Obviously, our poster here, you know, doesn't really have an ideal situation with her boyfriend, to not be able to have him over like that, and they're pretty far into the relationship, so I'm assuming both of them are still not at a good position to like move in with each other. But honestly, this kind of situation is really just, I don't know. I don't really think the roommate has a really good excuse for any of this. Of course, the writer did say that she didn't have any kind of like trauma with guys coming over before, which is really what I would guess would be the reason for like walking back stuff. And honestly, a reason that I would be pretty okay with if I had like a roommate doing this with me in a situation like, if you have trauma, that's all good. Maybe it just takes a while for you to warm up to like, um, different people being like in your living space, and that's fine. But when you're limiting this much and like walking back on like, an agreement that you made a long time ago, it really just seems like you're just being strict for no reason. At least that's what I'm getting from the writer's perspective. So, given the information that I'm given, I would honestly agree with the original poster and say that they're not an asshole. More just a lot of circumstances are very confusing. The roommate is just not in full agreement with them for some reason. Obviously they initially found a compromise that didn't work with the roommate for some reason, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So, yeah, that's my verdict. You guys let me know what you guys think of this one down in the comments. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. Oh, so yeah, check out this one. This one is very, very personal to me because I have a big issue with situations like this. So we're gonna go ahead and just read the post, and I'll explain after I read what my issue is with things like this. So, am I the asshole? Can't keep our roach problem under control because my husband leaves food around. Yuck. So, my husband, 32 male, and I, 29 female, have been together for 6 years. Married for 2 of those years. We both grew up in Michigan, and that's where we lived for the first 4.5 years of our relationship. A year and a half ago, we moved to Plano, Texas, for work. My job transferred me to the office down here, and he works as a freelance personal trainer so he can live anywhere. The pay is higher for both of our careers here. Plus, being near Dallas, he has way more clients than he did in Michigan. Overall, it was a great choice, not only for our careers, but we also love the city. Good to hear, good to hear. Unfortunately, Texas also has a lot of cockroaches. A few months ago, we noticed little German roaches starting to show up. It became a problem very quickly, and we ended up with an infestation. Sorry. After hiring an exterminator and also doing various DIY methods like boric acid, traps, etc., as well as keeping the place clean, we weren't able to reduce the amount of them by a lot. We determined it was our fault for them showing up in the first place. We're generally clean people, but admittedly we had been slacking a bit. Which is okay to do every now and then, but that solely shouldn't cause an infestation. More on that in a minute. Back to the story. So, sorry, I'm trying to find my place. Yeah, generally self-clean people, but we've been slacking a bit. We were also used to living up north, where roaches aren't as common. True. We agreed to be on the top of cleaning from here on out. I've been holding up my end almost religiously, cleaning every single day, taking out the trash every single day, as well as keeping any food in airtight containers. The problem is roaches are coming back because my husband has been leaving food out overnight. He likes to snack before he goes to bed, and he constantly leaves the container of food open on the counter. I make the effort to seal it up before I go to bed, but this isn't possible on the nights where I go to bed first. He also leaves dirty dishes in the sink, even though we agreed to never leave dirty dishes in overnight. I'm the one on top of daily cleaning and taking out the trash. I feel like it's a losing battle, because even if I stay up on the top... sorry. Even if I stay on top of the cleaning, he'll just make messes anyway. No amount of communication has worked. He promises to clean, but then doesn't. Here's where I may be the asshole. Okay, so we have further details here. I'm kind of siding with the poster so far, but let's see what they have to say. I've just stopped cleaning up his food that he leaves out. I'll leave it out on the counter, and then the next day when he tries to eat it, I'll remind him the roaches probably got to it. He gets disgusted and throws it out. I've stopped the daily cleaning and only take out trash as often as he does, which is once a week. I let the house go, and we had a roach problem quickly again, which started an argument as he's saying I let it happen on purpose, and I told him I did. I wanted him to see what happens if we live like him. I wanted him to see firsthand just how little he contributes compared to me. I said, clearly you don't mind living with roaches considering you've not been making an effort, so at this point, why even bother? Unfortunately, the consequence of me not cleaning is now we have a lot of roaches again, so I'm having secondhand thoughts on if I should have done things that way instead. Which I definitely would have done. I would not have proved the point. I'll go to the world's end to keep roaches out of my house. Which brings me to the first thing I want to unpack about this post. So, if I haven't mentioned at all on this channel before, my number one irrational fear is cockroaches. I know it's not entirely irrational, because they can be a very, very big symptom of just bad and disgusting living habits. Not judging anyone here that does have roaches. Sometimes, you're in a more hectic climate or messy area in general, and you can't really control if you have them or not. But generally, it's not that great of a sign if you are getting them. And I live in a state with a very humid climate, so I've gotten them every now and then in my own living space, which absolutely freaks me out. I'm almost never able to kill them on my own. I have to get somebody I live with to help me do it, and it's such an irrational fear. I hate it so much, and as much as I've gotten better about it, it sucks to even have ever had them. So basically, if you're taking those precautions and really just keeping clean, setting up traps, boric acid, all of those different types of methods, you should theoretically be good. So in the initial situation, the poster is definitely not the asshole for keeping up their end of the deal and staying clean and really just being the person that keeps the household tidy and prevents these invaders from living in there rent-free. Definitely agree with her there. However, at the end of the post, she states that she may be the asshole for kind of letting it loose a little bit. And I think, honestly, that's okay. If you can really manage to kind of show your partner, you know, how dire of a situation you're in with stuff like this, and, if he's leaving food out and they're still coming through and they're taking the necessary precautions, it's probably, indicative of it being a food problem. So, you know what, I'm more in support of her kind of letting her partner see, how much his actions, have really unwinded and, how disgusting that can kind of be. And, how maybe it's a good idea for him to kind of change where he's going with that. And I think, she did state how, no amount of communication has really worked. So, honestly, I would say, again, Poster isn't really the asshole in this situation in my eyes. But again, you guys let me know what you guys... I keep saying you guys so many times. Sorry. You guys just let me know what you all think down below. There we go. now that I can actually speak English, let's get to our next post. Am I the asshole for not going to my family Easter? Alright, seems like we have a family problem to unpack here. Let's get it. I have a gigantic family on my dad's side. At any nor all family get together, there are around 30 to 40 people there from age 5 to 75. Seems overwhelming, coming from a small family myself. Last March, I had 2 cerebral strokes, which have left me with residual symptoms and side effects. Things like motion sickness, nausea, aphasia, and paraphasia, I believe is how you say that, dizziness and vertigo, headaches, and often becoming overstimulated around too much sound, motion, and activity around me. Okay, the overstimulation causes my other side effects to intensify and can leave me with almost a hangover type feeling for hours to even days afterward. Yeah, that does not sound fun at all. Our potluck family style Easter lunch is coming up soon. The online Facebook invite says 25 adults have said they are coming, not including their children. I replied with maybe because I don't know how I will feel. A cousin posted asking why I haven't committed to coming and why I haven't said what I will be bringing. I replied with the information about my side effects and being unsure how I will be. Also, that if I don't come, my husband and 3 sons won't be either because they will want to be with me, especially if I'm having a bad day. So I don't want to commit to bringing something when I don't know if I'll be there. She told me that it was ridiculous for me to not be able to come as I was being selfish for not letting my husband and sons come. They couldn't care less to go, especially my husband. That's fine. Sometimes we just don't get along with in-laws. That I could just sit and talk to people and not have to be up and moving around. I told her she had no clue how it was and she didn't have the right to tell me anything about the situation. She told me I was being a selfish asshole on a holiday. I could only reply that we wouldn't be there. As of right now, no one else has commented about it either way. Oh wow, so this whole interaction was in public. So, am I the asshole for saying that we wouldn't be coming to the family Easter, and is it selfish of me to try not to go? Automatically here, definitely posters in the right, like just hands down. First of all, cousin is just generally in the wrong. When somebody's dealing with stuff, you don't necessarily have to put family first. I know I'm saying this from the perspective of somebody that like comes from a smaller family. I'm not like used to the big family gatherings, and I know those mean a lot to a lot of bigger families out there. But still, like especially what this poster is dealing with, I would say that the cousin here is definitely in the wrong. Second of all, don't deal with family issues like on public, like on Facebook. Don't do that. Don't. That's first of all just rude to, you know, air somebody out on social media in front of everybody else. Going to an event. This could have easily been handled in private, even if the cousin is clearly in the wrong. And it's just rude. So yeah, definitely. Poster's all good here. Not the asshole. Alright, next post we have here is about Vegas. Am I the asshole for wanting to go to Vegas on my 21st birthday? Sounds like a fun trip, so let's see. I, 20F, am turning 21 in July, and me and my boyfriend, 22M, have planned on going to the US in July for my birthday, specifically in Vegas for my 21st. We live across the pond, so our tickets are quite expensive. I can attest to that, but still reasonably priced, and we can afford them. We made a plan of our trip, found acceptable accommodation, and basically planned everything out, including specific dates. Sorry. It's a 10-day trip with LA and Vegas. Okay, so big ambitious trip here. I later extended this to my friends. I said, hey, me and my boyfriend are going to LA and Vegas for my birthday. Come with us, because I would obviously invite my friends to my birthday, but because this is quite a big and expensive trip, I don't expect anything. I hope Poster was clear with that. I am understanding if they can't make it. Okay, good. At the end of the day, this is a trip that I planned with my boyfriend, and well aware that people have finances to deal with. Oh, I'm losing my place so much, guys, today. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so far my friends have given me a maybe. Gotta sort some things out and see some stuff before I give you a definite answer, which is fair enough. My closest friend, 22F, we'll call her Tiffany, has made it quite difficult so far. From the beginning, she was skeptical, as she should be, saying it's too expensive. Tiffany does not live in the same country as me, so her tickets are a tad bit more expensive. From what it seemed, she had made up her mind and she is hell-bent over coming to LA and Vegas. With all the phone calls we had about the trip and her sending me Pinterest pictures of LA, saying she can't wait to come. However, she sent me a message today saying that plane tickets had gotten extremely expensive and that she was not coming anymore. Fair deal. Fair deal, I'll say. I told her that was fair enough, and I was sad that she wouldn't be coming. She then continued to say that she would be going to LA and Vegas in September when tickets are cheap for her, and told me to postpone my trip and go with her then. I said I can't because my birthday was in July, and I want to be in Vegas. She then told me to postpone my birthday to 2 months later in September. Absolutely the F not. She said I'm not a good friend because a good friend would want to spend their birthday with their friends regardless of the location and not necessarily in a glamorous, high-standard place. She called me selfish and a bad friend, basically. I personally do not understand this situation at all, as this is being my 21st. I'm enticed to do something special, and I always thought Vegas was the answer. She said that my birthday isn't a big deal, and that nothing magical happens. There's no difference if I spend it in September with her. I don't feel comfortable celebrating my birthday in Vegas 2 months later because it just won't be the same, and celebrating my real birthday in my boring home city, plus none of my friends, not much of a deal for me. I'm basically being told to compromise my birthday so that my friend can spend less money to come, whereas I see it as a if you can come, if you can't, then don't come situation. Am I the asshole? So, I've got to say, I am seeing a theme with most of these posts. I think I'm really gonna write off what the friend is saying here, and say the poster, based off the info I've been given, it seems like it was just a really petty argument, and the poster is, for the most part, in the right here. I would say, as a traveler myself, I really love going places and experiencing new things, and I think traveling for your birthday is a really good idea. Um, with that being said, Vegas is, a very crazy city. Um, there's a lot to do there, but there's also just a really crazy economy and crazy scene for gambling over there. And it can be a very expensive trip. That and LA, very, very expensive places in the US. If you don't live here, you might know, you might not, but just very big areas that are just stupid expensive. And just flight tickets alone probably cost a fortune. Really any time of the year. I don't think it really matters when you go. Of course, there'll be peak times where they're more expensive than they usually are. But like, even as in September, it's a big trip to make. So, I would say the friend's just kind of being petty here. And coming from a pretty boring city myself, I can sympathize with the poster. I wouldn't really want to spend my birthday where I live either. So, you know what? It's all good. Stuff like this happens, and I agree. I feel different when it's close to my actual birthday, rather than like 2 months later. I feel like a lot happens in 2 months, and it's just the magic of that. Why would you just go out and celebrate a birthday twice? I feel like there's a lot of reasons to go out and have an extravagant trip to LA and Vegas, and I think a birthday is a really good reason for that. So, for the most part, I agree with the poster here. Let's go ahead and move on. Next post here is, am I the asshole for kicking out my messy, rude, and disrespectful flatmate after she tried to make us homeless? Wow. So it seems like it's a pretty heavily detailed story here. So, me, 19F, and my friend Lewis, 19M, who are both the same age as me, so we're dealing with some probably young, relatable people to my own situation here, and our other flatmate, Jennifer, 19F, moved into a flat together in September of 2023 at the start of all of our second year of university. Pretty common thing to do, live with your friends in university. So yeah, let's see how it goes for our poster here. Once we lived together, it became clear Jennifer never cooked, and when she did, she left her dirty dishes around the house, and the only time they would get washed is if me or Lewis washed them. Great start. Both our living room and hallway were full of takeaway bags, and me and Lewis were constantly cleaning up after her. Next, she told us that she had been smoking in a room for the duration of our tenancy, which was against the singular rule we had as a flat. Adding to the stench of cigarettes and the odor of rotten food constantly leaked from her room. Yuck. We did repeatedly attempt to bring this up to her, but every time she would be aggressive and confrontational, and eventually we gave up. By this point, we were aware that uni was not going well for her, and by Christmas we were aware that she was more than likely dropping out. Therefore, we needed a new flat and new flatmates. On a personal note, I was told by Lewis that in private she had been ruthlessly slagging me off, saying that I faked the very serious eating disorder I had throughout high school and calling me an attention whore, as well as other smaller criticisms. After this, my friendship with her, at least for me, was over. However, as we were in the same fairly large group of friends, I maintained a civil attitude for the sake of the rest of my friends. Another thing that was very important to note is Jennifer started the year off with a fairly large sum of money, and she, by Christmas, had burnt through her entire savings and was well in her overdraft. Come on, guys, I can't emphasize this enough. Don't blow your savings in college. I'll go off on a tangent if I keep talking about that, so let's just keep going. So her paying the rent and bills was a serious concern for both me and Lewis. Oh my god, she was paying rent too. Me, Lewis, Terry, and Nadine, our new flatmates, mentioned to Jennifer that we would eventually be moving out, as she would be leaving to go home, and asked her when she would be thinking of moving out, suggesting a date approximately 3 months in the future. She blew up, calling us awful people, accusing us of kicking her out of her home, amongst other things. She then came into my room the next morning telling us she wanted to hand in 28 days' notice that day and leave. After telling her that would make us homeless, she said, "That's your problem." She then got drunk and screamed and cried at us, saying we were her best friends, and she was angry we didn't defend her from Nadine and Terry, who were kind of being reasonable with her, and fully emotionally blackmailing us for an apology. After this, she decided she was going home. She left without telling us and emailed the estate agent to end the contract. After realizing she could not end it alone, she had ordered us to end it. We said we would not end the contract until we had somewhere else to live, because we did not have the option to go home as it was midway through term. She called us selfish, blocked us on everything, and now we have to email her if we need anything. Okay, yeah, no. Honestly, I don't even know why this is in the Am I the Asshole subreddit. This should be in some kind of like entitled friends subreddit or something like that, because that was just, it's so clear who's wrong in this situation here. I mean, Poster has just been cordial this whole time, and their roommate's just been a complete asshole. So yeah, like they forgot to add "Am I the asshole" on the end because it was even so clear to them that they were in the right in the situation, and I'm just saying they are. They really are. So, you know what I think about that? I don't really think anybody would disagree with me there unless they're just a really shitty person or roommate or something like that, or unless they're the person in this scenario. So let's just go ahead and move on to the next post. That was very interesting. Okay, that's basically the same thing. Yeah, so we have a very interesting next post here. Am I the asshole for drinking the baby's milk? I live with my family. My mother does the grocery shopping via delivery service. She also runs a daycare from our home. As a result, the food that is meant for the daycare is mixed with the food for our family. I am lactose intolerant and have had to order a different brand of milk for the rest of the family for several years now. For a long time, I was the only person in the house who drank that brand. This recently changed unbeknownst to me because a baby started attending my mother's daycare. This baby drinks the same brand of milk, but his is whole milk and mine is 2%. Nobody told me about this. I only found out today because my mother is mad at me for drinking the baby's milk. My mother said that I should have known it wasn't mine because it was the whole milk and not 2%. I did notice the difference before drinking it. Because my mother orders groceries through a delivery service, I assumed that the 2% was out of stock and they replaced it with whole milk. Happens way more than you guys would think. This is very common practice for these delivery services, as I just said. I assumed it to be mine because, again, I thought I was the only person in our house who drank lactose-free milk. I do understand why she is angry. The baby needs milk, so she probably had someone to ask someone to pick up some more. It is a frustrating situation. I just don't believe the anger should be directed towards me. I think she should have told me the baby drinks the same brand as me and to be careful not to drink his by accident. I did apologize to her, but she's still mad. But maybe I am in the wrong for assuming it was mine. Am I the asshole? Not really. And honestly, I feel kind of crazy, like, not, like, noticing, like, at least one poster in the collection of these posts, that, like, is doing something in the wrong here. Like, just very clearly or blatantly. The mother. Sorry, I'm getting tired just listening to myself talk, guys. It has been a long day. But clearly the mother didn't notify this person that the brand of milk would be purchased for the baby as well. And obviously, it's a very easy mistake to make for delivery services when, a product is out of stock or is very similar to something else that, you just kind of get that slightly different product than you asked for specifically from the grocery store. So I don't think the poster is the asshole here. But definitely not great to be drinking the baby's milk. So I at least hope that they're looking out in the future, and that now that they know, them and their mother can come to an agreement here. So, alright guys, so I think this is about where I'm going to end the video off. I actually just got through a bit of a rough cold. A lot of pollen outside, a lot of stuff going around, the season's changing, so I did just kind of recover from that, and I'm still a little bit stuffed up, so that's why my voice might sound a little bit weird, a little bit nasally still, when I'm recording this. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of limit it to just those few posts that I read, and if you guys want another part to this video, I'd be more than happy to make it, and make a longer one as well, or maybe a stream out of this. Once my voice has fully recovered and I can, finally start making a bunch of videos again. So, yeah, you guys let me know what you thought of these posts down below in the comments, and, I'll be around for you guys. And, again, I did want to, officially say sorry for no video last week. I did, deal with a lot of work stuff and end up, obviously, getting sick. So that's why there was no video last week. But I promise you, I'll be back to the weekly grind. I'm not laying off of YouTube at all, and I don't plan to anytime soon. So thank you guys so much for watching all the way through this video, if you're still here, or if you're asleep, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm just really happy to be back making videos again, and very happy to just reconnect with all of you guys. Oh yeah, happy channelversary, by the way. For anyone still here, that was 2 days ago on March 19th. So here again is to another year of amazing videos for this awesome community. So with all that being said, I will see you guys next time.